With the release of Devil May Cry finally announced, let's take a look at the person who appears to be the main villain. Before we begin, there have been some story leaks that have been surfacing around the internet. I decided not to look at any of these leaks because I want to experience the story for the first time when I get my hands on the game. Now, to start things off, I don't think that the hooded person is the main villain. That's because I believe that the hooded person is Vergil. But this isn't about why I think the hooded person is Vergil. For a quick rundown for why I think he is, though. As we know, Nero lost his arm and Yamato, which means he lost most of his devil powers. Vergil is a very likely candidate for needing these items, especially since it's his sword. Izuno knows how much people love Vergil. So I have two theories about what's going on with Vergil. Both of them ultimately lead down the same road. The first is that after being defeated by Dante when he was Nello Angelo, Vergil was not actually killed. He instead lost most of his devil powers and was generally in a much weaker state. In this weakened state, he wouldn't be able to get revenge on Mundus. He also wouldn't be strong enough to go get Yamato before the events of Devil May Cry 4. So Vergil would keep a close eye on Dante and Nero to see when is the perfect time to act. He watched to see how Nero would grow up since Nero is only a fourth demon. When Vergil finds out he mostly manifests his demon power through his right arm, his Devil Bringer, Nero would be too weak to be of any use to Vergil, and we know how Vergil feels about power. So he needed to let Nero become stronger and progress for a while until the right moment. Until then, Vergil would just try to hone his skills in order to enact his plan. After the events of Devil May Cry 4, Nero was in proper shape and at his strongest. Vergil then goes out and seeks out Nero to reclaim his power. He then finds Nero at a point where Nero is with Kyrie. This slows Nero down enough that the weakened Vergil can cut off his arm. While Nero is down, Vergil then takes Yamato and leaves. He wouldn't want to kill him though, he just wants his power. Now Vergil has access to his Devil Trigger and his former abilities with Yamato. Vergil is actually doing this to take down the main villain. I think that the main villain of the game is actually Mundus. Mundus is here to do exactly what he said he would do. He is back to take over the human world. Vergil is moving now because Mundus is trying to take over the human world, and Vergil's seen this as his opportunity to kill Mundus. Which brings me to my second theory. Mundus manages to enter the human world likely through an undiscovered gate. With him is the army that he believes will be able to conquer the human world. During this time, Vergil escapes the demon world. Vergil was sent to the demon world after the Nello Angelo events. With Dante getting this old, it really seems like they want to end the saga. So in order to wrap everything up, it seems really reasonable for the creators to make Mundus the main villain, Vergil come back so Nero's place in the Sparta bloodline is clear, and let Nero meet his dad.
No, I am your father.
Dante truly passes on the torch to Nero, and for Nero to be the main character with the players having full knowledge of his background. I mean really, Dante can't keep this up much longer. Vergil definitely would want to settle things with Mundus, so after gathering everything he needed, he would go seek out Mundus. He would keep fighting Mundus until Nero and Dante shows up. Vergil would ultimately lose because Mundus was stronger than he thought. The first time Vergil fought Mundus was after Vergil was weakened by Dante. So it's very possible that Vergil underestimated Mundus' abilities. Also, it's not like Mundus was sitting there doing nothing. He already lost to Dante once, so he knows that he needs more strength to take over the human world. He was feeding off the negative energy in the human world for years, especially with all the gates being open and with the events of Devil May Cry 4. He should mostly be at a strength that he feels confident. After Vergil loses to Mundus, Nero would regain all of his things and fight Mundus with the help of Dante, Vergil, and maybe even Trish. Everything seems to be pointing to the story being this way to me at least. Even in the new gameplay that was released, the boss Goliath said he should be ruling the underworld, not him. That really seems like Mundus might be pretty important to the story, even though he didn't specifically say Mundus' name. For anyone wondering where V fits into all of this, I decided not to include V in this because I currently feel like something might be up with him. I don't feel like he's entirely good, so until I get a better idea of what's going on with V, I'm going to leave him out of this. Let me know what you all think in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to get more content like this, maybe subscribe. This is LDK, and I will see you all next time.